Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to my Let's Make an Open World RPG. In this episode, we're going to be working on vampires and werewolf. Before we actually start, I was working on the celestial stones, and I basically finished them off screen. The other ones are basically a copy of the ones we already did, like the warrior stone, the mage's stone, um and the ranger stone. They're all the same except they do different stuff depending on which weapons that you have equipped. And then there's two more stones. One is the armored knight, and the other one is the arcane shield. The armored knight is basically like the warriors, rangers, and magi stone. The only difference is it doesn't require you to actually have a specific weapon or equipment on. So as soon as you activate it, you gain the bonus. Um, yeah, you gain the bonus to your defense. So if you're level 5, you gain an additional um, 5 defense. Um, yeah, so right now with the Celestial Stone, there's actually no way for this to be updated. So if you want to update it, you have to go back to the stone. Like let's say you're on level 5 and you activate the stone, and then you gain 5 bonus to your defense. And then when you're level, let's say you go up by 5 more levels, so you're now level 10, you'll still have the 5 bonus to your defense until you go to the stone and reactivate it. But that's an easy fix. I just haven't gotten to it yet. The other stones are basically the life stone, life stone, energy stone, and life energy stone. What they do is the life stone basically makes it so your head so you regenerate 20% of your HP. Um, and then the rest of them is gonna be regenerating at a regular rate. The energy stone is gonna make it so you regenerate 20% of your MP, and then the rest is gonna regenerate at a regular rate. And then the life energy stone is gonna make it so you regenerate everything at 10%. So you regenerate 10% of everything. Um, yeah. So and That's another one, which is the workers, the creators, the worker stone, the creator stone, and I forgot the night stone. So I didn't actually make them here. All I basically did was make set a condition over here. If you have the stone activated, you gain two. You gain a +2 in your pickpocketing, your lock picking, and your other crime skills. When you do level them up, you gain one additional level instead of just one. And then it's the same thing woodcutters have to do with the worker stone, and the cooking, blacksmithing, and the alchemy has to do with the creator stone. So without further ado, let's now get into our vampires and werewolves. So this is going to be the last major feature that I add to the game. I think. I don't know if I have any more, but right now is the last major feature I'm going to be adding to the game. So after this, I'm going to start working more on my NPCs. I'm going to try to finish off the NPCs in not in DawnHaven. The NPCs in Hollow's Tips, because I really, 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 really hate working on I basically just hate working on NPCs, especially the way I have it set up. I have to come up with the backgrounds and stuff like that. That's why it's like I'm slowly doing it. But anyways, this is basically the stats of the vampires. So when you become a vampire, your HP will drain in sunlight. Um, you gain an additional attack and MAT. You then become weak to fire. Your cold resistance increases. You can turn into a bat and fly and then move faster. Um, to feed, you're gonna be using a skill, so that's an easy part for me to do. So I could make a skill to make it so you could feed on people. Um, the skill will not kill, but Okay, I'm gonna make it so the skill will basically drain the person's HP, but it's not gonna be enough to kill them. But you could keep on feeding on the same person and eventually kill them if you drain their blood completely. So if you don't feed and your hunger is like, or your thirst goes all the way up, then your max HP gets dropped down to 50%. So if you had 100 HP and you don't feed, your max HP would then become 50. So, and then werewolves, kind of different. To gain bonuses from being a werewolf, you can only shift form at night. So you can only be a werewolf at night, and you could decide to shift forms if you want to or not. So your defense goes up, your attack goes up, you're weak to fire, but you're not resistant to cold. As a werewolf, your speed is increased in the werewolf form, and you once you're a werewolf, you have to keep on feeding. Um, in order to retain your form. So that's basically it. So in this episode, we're gonna be working on vampires. So, vampire. I'm just gonna name this Vampire I because I don't know if I'm gonna have multiple of those. So, first we need a way for you to become a vampire, and we need a way for you to be for your vampire stuff to be set. So, okay, so I made up a name, Vamptiprox Cerilis. That is a vampire disease. So how it's gonna work is, if you encounter a vampire, the vampire's attack will have a percentage to inflict when encountering a vampire. So if you encounter a vampire and he attacks you, all of his attacks will basically have a percentage chance to basically give you this disease called Vamptiprox Cerilis. So if you have Vamptiprox Cerilis and it turns into night, you become a vampire. If it's nighttime and you gain the disease, you become a vampire. So the only way for you to not be a vampire when you do get this disease is if it was like daytime and you go cure the disease. Anything else, you basically turn into a vampire. So the second it hits night, you become a vampire. And so let's go ahead and start. So Vampire Eye is going to basically be, how we get the disease. Before we actually move on, let's go ahead and make the state. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oops. I'm gonna go ahead and put this here. So this is going to be Warrior Stone, Archer Stone, or actually Ranger Stone, Magi Stone, Armored Knight, Arcane Shield, Life Stone, Energy Stone, Life Energy Stone, Creators, Workers, and Knight. So okay, there we go. We have enough. Okay, so this is going to be Vamptiprox Cerilis. Vamptiprox Cerilis. So when you're basically infected with the state, then all we have to do is do a condition for when it's nighttime. So if it's nighttime, you become a vampire. Then it's gonna turn on the vampire switch. And once the vampire switch is turned on, you gain the one-time boost, I guess. The one-time I'll get to it when I let me find the icon first. If only there was like fangs that I could just use. Well, guess I got to go through these. I don't want to use those ones because I use those for my skills or spells. Maybe this one. But ooh, blood. Okay, that could work. Let's see. Going through Vamptyprox Cyrillus. Vamptyprox Cyrillus. Or just Vamptyprox. Vamptyprox. You have encountered Vamptyprox Cyrillus. Yeah, I'll use the blood, I guess. It's not terrible. Okay, so when this state is inflicted, nothing special happens. It's just like a regular state that does absolutely nothing. So, now all we basically do is a few little conditions. If after state Vamptyprox Cyrillus is inflicted, we could just go ahead and get rid of the else because nothing is going to happen in the else. And then condition again for when it's nighttime, not loop. I don't know how that got in there. So condition, since we already have like a switch handling nighttime, all we basically have to do is find it. So we have day, we have night, we have afternoon, of course, and we have late night. But what we want is closing hours. So, yeah, we're gonna make it closing hours. And also, if you go to sleep, even if you sleep for like 1 hour or whatever, you turn into a vampire. So, but that part we're gonna handle in the beds systems and stuff like that. But as for now, if you have the disease inflicted and it's closing hours, what all we have to do here is turn on a switch, and we're gonna call that switch pre-vampire. We're gonna need 2 switches for this. So, pre-vampire, but you are definitely a vampire, and I did not mean to make it a condition. I meant to make it a control switch. So, pre-vampire, you are definitely a vampire as of now. Okay. We're gonna need 1 more switch. I don't want to use game switches for this one, because that means if, or actually I'll just make it so once you're a vampire, once you are a vampire, okay, yeah, I make it so once you're a vampire, when you do get gain the Vamptyprox Cyrillus inflicted to you, on you, like it just gets removed. So okay, yeah, I don't need to make the game switch, because I was gonna make it, because if I left it like this, that means every time you do gain this the disease and it's closing time, pre-vamp is gonna be turned on, and then you gain additional bonuses to the bonuses you had before, and that would just break the game, because then people could just, you know. So anyways, so once that happens, it turns on pre-vampire on. Okay. Now we go to vampire II, parallel process, pre-vampire, check. So what this does is basically turn you into a vampire. Of course it is gonna turn on the switch vampire, pre-vampire, vampire. So it's gonna turn on pre-vampire, and pre-vampire is basically me giving you these stats, I guess. So insert conditional branch. Actually, no, not conditional branch. What am I looking for? What email looking for? Perimeters. There we go. So first things first, vampire, we need to increase attack. But the question is by how much? How much? How much should we increase our attack by? 50? 100? No. 20. 20 sounds, 20 is a good number, right? So increase that by 20. Increase MAT by 15. Okay, now how do we handle the fire fire weakness, cold resistance? How do we, if you don't feed? So the rest of this part we're gonna be handling in the Vampire 3 or Vampire II. So what we have to do now is basically change perimeters. It's not here. Do I have change S perimeters? Okay. Down, change states, recover all, change level, change skill, change equipment, change name, change class. Change name? Okay. I never knew I could do that. Change nickname. Okay, that's good, I guess. Let's see. How are we gonna do this? How? So I'm guessing a permanent state? I don't know. How would I make a permanent state? How much time have I passed? 16. It's gonna be a long video, 20 minutes. Weakness to fire. Actually, V element. So I guess perimeter at okay, so attack element, nope. Attack state, yes, please. Ooh, no, not this one. Rate, actually. Elemental rate, fire will be 125. Okay, 125 to fire. Copy paste. 75 to ice or cold, and then let's just paste this 2 more times. And the other one will be state rate. Let's see. State rate. Burn. 125. So let's see. Make sure. Change the property. Succeed in applying this fake. Yeah, 125%. The next will be state rate. Freeze. 75%. Actually, just resist. Resist freezing. Resist it. Should I resist it or make it harder to inflict? I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it at that. So right now we basically have the basics down. So what we just do now is change the state, I guess. So change state, add we're gonna add what are we gonna add, man? Vampire element, just a sacrifice. Okay, apply. So now that we have this, and then it's gonna turn on vampire, we're gonna turn off pre-vampire, of course, because we don't want this to be happening always. So turn off pre-vampire because you're no longer pre-vampire. So turn on pre-vampire, and then the last one is basically going to be the things that run all the time. So we gained this, we gained this, we gained this. Okay. Just to make things click just to make it so that the state is like endless. I have no idea how to do that. I guess don't put any okay, priority. What does this do again? The priority displays the icon set so multiple states have been applied. The state that has a higher value of this setting will be given. Okay, so I'm just gonna set this to 0. We're not even gonna make an icon for it. Restrictions, none. Has become a vampire. Actually, turn into a vampire. Turn into a vampire. So, message when an actor fell in state, turning into a vampire. Okay. So that will let them know that they're turning into a vampire. And that's it for this episode. Thank you guys again for tuning in. In the next episode we're gonna be working on HP drain and sunlight. Use skill to feed. If you don't feed, the maximum HP turns to 50%. And the last one, turn into a bat and move faster, we're going to be handling last. So, thank you guys again for tuning in. Make sure definitely to be subscribed if you want to see the next episode the second I release it. If you're interested with in stuff like this, with RPG Maker and other stuff, make sure to definitely subscribe. And also like this video to tell me that I'm doing a good job, or dislike this video telling me I'm doing a bad job. Or, actually, and also comment down below telling me if you have any other suggestions of what I could do to make my vampires more appealing for you guys to play as. Or if any improvements or some stuff you think I should change. Maybe you want me to make their attack like 50 or maybe lower it. But yeah, thank you guys again for tuning in. Peace.